Understanding the mental health of rejected children. In this video, I will be talking about the mental health of children who have experienced parental rejection. In the first part of the video, I will define parental rejection and examine the current research on this topic. Then, I will talk about some of the symptoms that children who have been rejected by a parent or caregiver may face. Lastly, I will provide information on resources that may be beneficial for parents to help their children. Parental rejection can be defined as the withholding of affection from or denial of attention to one's child. Parental rejection can take on many forms, and a parent may abandon their child in numerous ways, including through divorce, death, absences due to employment or military service, addictions, incarceration, and chronic physical or mental illness. One specific type of parental rejection that afflicts many families is father absenteeism. Fathers can be absent both physically and emotionally. Absent fathers may not offer explanations about the reason for leaving and do not stay in contact with their children. Parental rejection puts a child at risk for psychological, emotional, and social problems. Something that occurs during adolescence is the imaginary audience. The imaginary audience refers to the tendency for adolescents to assume that others are constantly watching and judging them. Further, our looking glass self is the self that reflects how we believe others perceive us. It refers to how society mirrors back to us our worth and value. During adolescence, the looking glass self is happening at a time where the imaginary audience is critical. This means that our sense of self is based on pure perceptions. Therefore, when adolescents experience parental rejection, they often develop negative thoughts and feelings about themselves, their future, the world, and their relationships. Similarly, it is not uncommon for children to blame themselves for problems in their world. They may assume that they were unworthy of their parents' acceptance and responsible for the rejection. This false assumption may lead young children to experience strong feelings of shame and guilt. Children may come to believe that they are unlovable and undeserving. The impact of parental rejection will vary for each child depending on the individual circumstances of the relationship. One symptom that children and adolescents may display is difficulty in forming lasting emotional attachments. If children experience irregular parental rejection, meaning that the person comes in and out of the child's life, they may become anxious and uncertain about the security of all relationships. The child may resist others' efforts to relate to them to avoid the pain of ultimately being let down. When children experience a relationship that is consistently rejecting, they may become dismissive and avoidant of all relationships. Another symptom associated with parental rejection is difficulty in sustaining positive self-worth. Children may have trouble developing and sustaining self-esteem. As a result, many rejected children may suffer from depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, and a lack of confidence. Many children often harbor intense feelings towards their absent parent. This can be in the form of emotional reactivity, which occurs when the child is in denial and has unresolved grief, or some children may over-identify with the absent parent and idolize and worship them. Lastly, children who have experienced a loss of parental nutrients and support may have a difficult time self-soothing and containing negative emotions when they experience failure. They may encounter frustration and failure more frequently and respond with anger that is less restrained. Your child may display aggression or hyperactivity. When talking to your child, it is important to listen to what they want to know. Oftentimes, parents may keep information secret. However, children often know about information that has been secreted and can only gain clarity and come to terms with the absence when they are encouraged to ask questions and when adults are honest and truthful. When a parent is absent, the remaining caregivers need to establish authority and sufficient structure in the children's living environment based on a clear set of rules and boundaries. Creating structure in the child's life helps the child reestablish a sense of personal control and competence. Some strategies for this include the implementation of reasonable rules around sleep time, setting a curfew, assigning chores, and setting restrictions around TV and electronics. Faith-based audience members can also find support within their church, synagogue, or house of worship. Religious leaders can serve as important advisors for congregants dealing with personal problems and may also be helpful in offering referrals for formal health and social services institutions. Your house of worship can provide a source of community support and can expand the child's network of positive adult mentors. Furthermore, some children may experience a longing and desire for the absent father. They may gravitate towards other men who are around in order to try to satisfy and explore a fantasized relationship with their father. In order to help these children, other males, which can include relatives, school or church leaders, or members of other pro-social organizations, can serve as positive role models. These positive figures can help counteract some of the negative consequences of the father's absence. Susan Harder examines the role that special adults can have in her book, The Construction of the Self. A special adult is someone in a child's life that is consistently available, believes in them, encourages them, and helps guide them. Special adults increase a child's ability to be resilient in the face of challenge. There are many local organizations that can provide youth with positive role models and access to special adults. Bully Busters in Norwich offers a variety of programs and events for young people that are geared towards preventing bullying. The Lotus Library, also located in Norwich, provides many programs including Drop-In Chess, Teen Art Lounge, and Tween Book Club. Writer's Block Inc. in New London encourages youth to use creative expression as a means to address personal challenges. Lastly, for children and teens that gravitate towards athletics, there are many local sports organizations including the Norwich Youth Football League and Norwich Little League. When children are engaged in the community, they feel capable of making a contribution to the world rather than as victims of it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that this provided you with some insight into parental rejection, explained some of the symptoms that children and teenagers may display, and provided information on useful resources.